Hello everyone, welcome to MyLawStation. Today let's discuss orders under Civil Procedure Code. Let's move on to Order 1, Parties to Suits. Before we discuss rules under Order 1, let us understand basic definitions that play a key role in a civil litigation. Let us define who is a plaintiff. A plaintiff is a person, group, or entity that brings a case against another party in a court of law. The plaintiff is the party that initiates a lawsuit by filing a complaint or petition, claiming that they have been wronged in some way by the defendant and seeking a legal remedy or relief. In civil cases, the plaintiff typically seeks compensation for damages or some other form of redress, while in criminal cases, the plaintiff is usually the government or state bringing charges against the defendant on behalf of the society. Let us move on to who is a defendant. A defendant is the party against whom a lawsuit is brought or who is being accused in a criminal case. In a civil lawsuit, the defendant is the individual company or organization that is being sued by the plaintiff. The defendant has the opportunity to respond to the allegations made by the plaintiff and to present their own defense in the court. In a criminal case, the defendant is the person who has been charged with committing a crime by the government or the prosecuting authority. The defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty, and they have the right to legal representation and to present a defense against the charges brought against them. Now that we have covered who is a plaintiff and who is a defendant, let's move on to Order 1, Rule 1, that is joinder of plaintiffs. Multiple persons can be joined as plaintiffs in a single lawsuit if they claim relief arising from the same act, transaction or series of acts or transactions, and if there are common questions of law or fact among them. This allows for efficiency in resolving related legal issues in a single proceeding so that there are no multiplicity of suits. So further, let's understand Order 1, Rule 2. Power of court to order separate trials. If the court determines that joining multiple plaintiffs may complicate or delay the trial, it has the authority to require the plaintiffs to choose whether to proceed together or to order separate trials or make other necessary orders to expedite the process. Let us understand joinder of defendants. Order 1, Rule 3. Similar to joinder of plaintiffs, multiple persons can be joined as defendants in a single lawsuit if the relief sought arises from the same act, transaction, or series of acts or transactions against them, and if there are common questions of law or fact. This streamlines the legal process by consolidating related claims. Now let us see what is Order 1, Rule 3a. Power to order separate trials for defendants. If the court believes that joining multiple defendants may complicate or delay the trial, it has the authority to order separate trials or make other necessary orders in the interest of justice. Let's move on to Order 1, Rule 4. Judgment for or against joint parties. The court has the discretion to render judgment for or against one or more plaintiffs or defendants, respectively, without requiring an amendment to the pleadings. This allows the court to resolve the claims of individual parties without affecting the overall lawsuit. Let's understand Order 1, Rule 5. A defendant not required to be interested in all relief claimed. It's not necessary for every defendant to have an interest in all the relief claimed in the lawsuit against them. This recognizes that defendants may have differing levels of involvement or liability in the claims against them. Joinder of parties liable on same contract. Order 1, Rule 6. The plaintiff has the option to join all parties liable under the same contract in a single lawsuit. This facilitates the efficient resolution of disputes related to contractual obligations. Plaintiff's option when in doubt. Order 1, Rule 7. If the plaintiff is unsure about which party is liable for the relief sought, they can join multiple defendants in the lawsuit. This allows the court to determine the extent of liability among all parties involved. Order 1, Rule 8. Representation of persons with same interest. If there are numerous persons with the same interest in a lawsuit, one or more of them may, with the court's permission, sue or be sued or defend the suit on behalf of all interested persons. The court may direct one or more of them to do so. Notice of the suit must be given to all interested persons at the plaintiff's expense. Any person concerned may apply to be made a party to the suit. Certain actions like abandoning a claim or withdrawing from suit requires court notice to interested persons. If someone involved in the suit does not proceed diligently, the court may replace them with another person having the same interest. The decree in such a suit is binding on all interested persons. Order 1, Rule 8a. Power of court to allow opinion in proceedings. During a lawsuit, if the court believes that a person or group is interested in a legal question directly relevant to the case and allowing their opinion is necessary in the public interest, the court may permit them to present their opinion and participate in the proceedings as specified by the court. One of the most important rules, that is Order 1, Rule 9, misjoinder and non-joinder. A lawsuit cannot be dismissed solely because parties are incorrectly joined or left out. The court has the power to address the matter in dispute concerning the rights and interests of the parties actually involved in the lawsuit. There is one exception, that is, this rule does not apply if a necessary party, one without whom the lawsuit cannot be effectively adjudicated, is not included. Order 1, Rule 10, Clause 1. Suit in the name of the wrong plaintiff. If a lawsuit is initiated in the name of the wrong person as the plaintiff, or if there is uncertainty about the correct plaintiff, the court can take corrective action. The court can, at any stage of the lawsuit, substitute or add another person as the plaintiff. This substitution or addition is permissible if the court is convinced that the initial filing was a genuine mistake, and that it's necessary to include the correct plaintiff to resolve the real dispute. The court can impose any terms it considers fair while making the substitution or addition of the plaintiff. Let us see Order 1, Rule 10, Clause 2. Court may strike out or add parties. The court has the authority to remove or include parties in the proceedings at any stage, with or without the request of either party. This can be done under terms that the court deems fair and just. The court can order the removal of any party improperly joined, whether they are a plaintiff or defendant. The court can order the inclusion of any person who should have been joined as a plaintiff or defendant, or whose presence is necessary for the court to effectively and completely resolve all issues in the lawsuit. Let's understand Clause 3 under this rule, restrictions on adding plaintiffs. There are limitations on adding plaintiffs to a lawsuit without certain consents. No person can be added as a plaintiff if they are suing without a next friend, someone who represents them legally, or as the next friend of a plaintiff under any disability, such as a minor or mentally incapacitated person without their consent. Order 1, Rule 10, Clause 4. Amendment of plaint when defendant added. When a defendant is added to a lawsuit, the plaintiff's complaint must be amended unless the court decides otherwise. The plaint must be amended in a manner necessary to reflect the addition of the new defendant. Amended copies of the summons, legal notice to appear in court, and the plaint must be served on the new defendant. If the court deems it appropriate, amended copies of the summons and plaint may also be served on the original defendant. Order 1, Rule 10, Clause 5, Commencement of Proceedings against added defendant. Proceedings against a person added as a defendant are considered to have commenced only upon the service of the summons. Legal proceedings against the added defendant officially begin when they are served with the summons, subject to the provisions of the Indian Limitation Act. With this, I hereby conclude this video. The purpose of these videos is to create legal awareness amongst individuals. Also, this content is simplified for law students appearing for exams. Thank you for your valuable time.